Thanks, everyone. Well, welcome to today's CPSA member exclusive webinar on Raving Clients Request Referrals, the 5-step referral roadmap, presented by CPSA in collaboration with Lisa Leach of Teneo Results, who have recently joined forces with Prima. Lisa has been successfully training and coaching sales leaders and their teams to transition their salespeople away from the standard product and price approach and have more purposeful business conversations with the ideal profitable buyers that drive results. She's the first female to earn the dual designation of CSP, Certified Sales Professional, and Certified Speaking Professional, the highest designations in both professions. In this 1-hour session, we'll delve into and debunk the common reasons why raving customers often become the referral that got away. Hesitation, nerves, and mental hurdles get in the way. You'll discover the undeniable importance of referrals as well as insights into your strategic timing of when to ask, ensuring that your approach is not only effective, but also well received. Now, just for some quick housekeeping rules on today's session, kindly note that all of today's attendees have been automatically placed on mute upon entry for a seamless experience, but we encourage active engagement. So if you have a burning question, please feel free to enter that into the chat in your Zoom dashboard throughout the session, and we can get to those questions at the very end. This webinar is being recorded and the link will be distributed to all CPSA members shortly after the session concludes. To our dedicated professionals on the CPSA designation pathway, we're pleased to inform you that the session qualifies for 1 professional development unit. Following the session, all participants will receive a personalized certificate of participation, downloadable and shareable on your LinkedIn profile. Now, without further ado, let's hand it over to Lisa to start.
Good morning, Rupelin. Good morning, everyone. Great to see many people joining us on this morning in order to take a look at how do we ask our clients for referrals. So we've got an action-packed session planned for today, and that's what we're first of all going to look at. Uncover why asking for referrals seems so hard. Why are referrals important? Some stats that we're going to be sharing that will show the importance of helping you to be more successful in sales. Understand when and when not to ask for referrals. And then I'll be sharing the 5 easy steps to ask for referrals. And it's easier than you think. Our learning outcomes for today, we want you to walk away with the 5-step referral strategy to implement with raving customers. And some of you may even say, well, when do I know they're raving? We'll share those secrets with you. And ultimately, the confidence to ask your customers for referrals. In working with many salespeople and even myself, that is one of the biggest challenges we face is when and should I ask my customers for referrals? And we are at the end of March. Most of you are at the end of Q1. And I believe April, May, June. Great opportunity for you to be creating a blitz on when to be asking for referrals, prospecting. It's a great opportunity to be able to kind of get all of those actions and strategies, tips into place. So we're going to help you to feel more confident to be able to do that as part of a 90-day blitz. And I certainly will be doing that during the next 90 days. So I hope that you will join me in doing that. So Rupelin, let's start off with a poll. Let's find out from all of the people who've joined us this morning, when do you ask for referrals? So we've got a number of different answers here, but you can only choose one. So Rupelin, are you ready to share the poll?
Yeah, I've just launched it.
There we go. So when do you ask for referrals? Here are your options. Rarely. I find it tough to ask for referrals. Be honest with us. Never. I haven't tried. Sometimes, if the situation is right, when I have a raving client, always. They've got habits put into place. So let's just find out from people. And again, we might ask and answer this honestly, not what you should be doing. Let's put it into action because it kind of gives us a perspective.
Give it a few more seconds.
So we've got almost 80% of people have answered the polls. Great. We love interaction, and this is a great way to interact.
Okay, I think I should be okay to share.
Okay, awesome.
There we go, Lisa. Can you see that?
Yes. Oh, yep. I can still see the poll results, Ruplin.
So we've got 55% saying sometimes if the situation is right. We have 15% saying always. 11% saying when I have a raving client. 13% saying never, I haven't tried. And 6% saying rarely, I find it tough to ask for referrals.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to kind of take that, let's see what here, the 55%, the 13%, and the 6% and try to move those up on this ladder here. So again, we love interactive sessions. So in the chat box, or if you want to take yourself, raise your hand if you want to speak, because it's easier to be able to do that. I'm curious, when is the situation right? So in the chat box, or Rublin, can they raise their hand and you can take them off mute?
For sure. Whichever works best for you. I'm just going to put the question, when is the situation right for you, in the chat box, and you can go ahead and respond.
Let's find out. Chris, great comment. When I receive their prepayment for the coming year's service. So Jordan. Oh, nice, Colin. We're getting great comments in here. Excellent. So Jordan actually shares he's fearful of asking for referrals from everyone. What if this encourages unhappy customers to leave 1-star reviews? So this is interesting because then you're asking for Google reviews as opposed to referrals. So there's a little bit of difference between referrals and reviews. Colin, my favorite is when something went wrong and we were able to fix it. Absolutely. Incredible way to build loyalty and then be able to ask for that. Following up on a successful sale. When it is not quite a direct competition to my customer. Good rapport. So Cal Tire, when I have a customer I'm not having much success with, I will go to my good customers and ask for their help. Nice. Excellent. What I love about collaborating with salespeople, sales professionals, is there's all sorts of different ways. There's no right answer to be able to do this. So this is great, and we can learn so much from each other. So let's just look at some interesting stats, because this will help us to look at let's look at the referral stat. People are 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend or colleague. So think about this yourself. Think about the last thing that you've purchased, whether it was B2B or perhaps even personally, whether you're doing a house renovations, looking to purchase a vehicle, a home, looking for a new realtor, or maybe you're looking for a new digital printing company, right? Think about when you receive a referral or a suggestion, are you more likely to buy from that person? I know myself, absolutely. What about you, Ruplin? Are you more likely to buy from somebody when they've been referred by somebody else?
Yes, I almost only purchase through that method, referrals or personal reviews.
Yes, and we're certainly seeing this. We're going to be talking about the different generations who do that. 84% of B2B decision makers start the buying process with a referral. So they're going to reach out. Who do you know who does this, right? 84%, perhaps even higher than B2C. 83% of consumers are willing to refer after a positive experience, yet only 29% actually do. So everybody is busy these days. When was the last time you gave a referral? And then the last interesting stat here is the lifetime for a new customer is 16% higher than non-referrals. So what that means is when you've received a referral or an endorsement, your trust goes up. And as a result of that, you're willing to buy more frequently, increased value amount. And so then therefore, the lifetime value is even higher. So again, it's amazing. Referrals is all about trust. And certainly at Teneo and at the Canadian Professional Sales Association, we're all about building trusted advisors through the consultative selling process. So referrals is just a natural process of that consultative selling process, something we just aren't doing enough. So we're going to be taking a look at what we can do to help you feel more confident to do that. So we've asked you the question about the situation. So let's just find out, why is it so hard to ask for referrals? Why is it so hard? So let's go again back to the chat box, or again, if anybody wants to speak to this. Why is it hard to ask for referrals?
We've got here from Taylor, it feels very vulnerable.
So Taylor, are you willing to speak a little bit more? Are you willing to come off mute and maybe just speak to this a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, I've been in sales now for, I would say, about a year and a bit. And so I'm just, kind of learning a lot of new stuff, but it does feel a bit uncomfortable to ask for a referral, because it's almost like I don't want them to feel like they're being used so that I can make another sale. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the part that you're feeling vulnerable? Let's get a little bit deeper on this. What's the vulnerability for you?
I guess you're putting yourself out there, and they could say, no, I don't want to give a referral, which is rejection, which is always hard to deal with as well.
Thank you, Taylor, for being so honest, right? Yeah, it's about that rejection. You're putting yourself out there, and it's afraid to do that. I was working with a sales team, and this sales leader, he is bold, he is strategic, he is brave. But when we talked about referrals, he actually admitted he didn't like to ask for referrals. He would rather make cold calls than ask for referrals. And he was the same way. And so it really helped me to gain some insight that even the most confident sales leaders and salespeople are afraid to feel vulnerable. He would rather hear no from prospects in cold calling than hearing no from a client, because it's easier to take that personally and put ourselves in some difficult situations. So again, I think this talks a little bit about that self-talk. So we're going to be taking a look at, how do we ask for those referrals so that we're not feeling so vulnerable and we're not putting ourselves in those difficult situations, and the reason why we want to be able to ask for referrals. Excellent. Thank you very much, Taylor. We like to be able to give stars. So I'm looking for my reactions here so I can give you a star. Can everybody look at the reactions? Let's give Taylor some love for being able to show that. I'm going to find my stars here. That's definitely a star-worthy moment. Anybody else? Who else wants to be able to share? We've got some more.
We have an interesting point of view from, is it Luce here? I don't have a problem asking for referrals. I don't hesitate to name drop in a conversation with a customer.
Yeah. So Luch, hopefully we're pronouncing it right. Are you able to share a little bit more about this with us?
It's loose, by the way.
Luce.
Yes,
Thank you.
no worries. It's a common mistake. It's not an easy name. Yeah, I think it's just years of sales experience, and I'm pretty bold, direct person. People that know me know this. I speak my mind and all that. So I always say, if you don't ask, you have 100% chance of getting a no, right? You have to ask to have any chance of having a yes. So I don't have a problem asking for referrals. People tend to like to help if they can help. Like, oh, Kevin, I could really use your help here. Have this other branch, in this area. They really don't want to give us a chance. They're really stuck in their ways. And, do you mind, oh, yeah, no problem. I'll give them a call, or I'll send you a quick note and you can forward it on, or use my name anytime. So I'll do that when I'm talking to this other customer. I'll say, hey, by the way, Kevin in this area here, he used to deal with so-and-so, and now he's switched to us, and he has nothing but raving reviews to say. And, why don't you, right? And it works. It works.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Let's show Luce the love here. Let's show the reactions. Excellent. Very good. And I agree. So we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of name dropping. And I used to be afraid to name drop, but you'll actually see as one of my strategies, and I've learned from customers, they'll say, Lisa, I'm not going to return your phone call or email, but based on the person's name that you referred to and out of respect for them, I will return your phone call or email. So I learned that the hard way. I went, oh. So we're going to talk about the importance of referencing the, so maybe people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to use the word name dropping. It's about how do you reference the person's name and when do you reference the person's name? We're going to talk about the importance of being able to do that. Luce, I love what you were saying about helping. And you're right. Sales and business people love to help, especially each other. And they're always eager to help when they hear that there are ambitious salespeople who want to grow business. Not aggressive, ambitious. So I think that's a great way to be able to position that. And we're going to be taking a look at that because the wording of this, the tonality, the way we do this, to make it more genuine, right? Hey, I'm really wanting to grow my business this year. I want to take my business to the next level. Would you be willing to help me out? Right? Those are ways to be able to do that. That doesn't sound like it's pushy or assertive of being able to do that. And people love to be able to help others, especially other salespeople. Excellent. I think we had somebody who raised their hand, Rupalin.
Yes, we have Arash.
Hi there. I just want to just add to what Luce was saying and a follow-up onto what you were also saying, Lisa. I think one way to make asking for referral maybe a little easier is being very specific on the actual ask that we have of them. I think it's a lot easier for people to be, to your point, willing to help you if they know exactly how they can help you, so that the process of helping you is as frictionless as possible and as easy to execute and help you as possible, rather than saying, hey, do you have anyone you might be able to refer me? It's too broad and general and people don't know how to approach it, versus saying, hey, I noticed that you're connected to Bob at ABC company. How do you feel about, maybe making a quick introduction and allowing me to then take the conversation there in the same way that I was able to help you?
Yes.
So things like that can be very helpful in getting the referral that we want by being very specific in our ask of these of our network.
Excellent. Excellent. Great. And you're right. Being specific is very, very key. And I'm going to share some of those strategies about being specific, because you may get a referral and you go, oh, that's not my ideal type of client, or they're too small or too big, or I don't do in that industry. So we're going to talk a little bit about how do we be more specific in the types of clients that you want to be working with too. So let's, again, being specific, let's show Arash the love. Thank you for sharing. That's another great star-worthy moment. Oh, we've got lots of really good stuff here. This is excellent. So we're going to keep things moving along here, because so again, we can take a look at, I feel I should be paid or rewarded for referrals. I don't want to bother my clients. I have not made it a consistent habit. I feel like I'm asking my client for a favor. A few others here, it's not top of mind. I'd rather make cold calls than ask for referrals, right? So those are all the things that impact our ability and our own self-talk. What I always like to be able to say is the first conversation in sales happens to happen with us in between our ears, in order for us to be able to feel more confident about that. So we're going to share lots of tips, and it's great. Thank you so much for lots of really good tips and interaction, because we can learn from so much from everybody else. So I appreciate the response on that. Excellent. Thank you so much. So let's just take a look at questions to ask yourself before asking for referrals. Again, as part of consultative selling, the game-changing ingredient is asking questions. So here's what we want to be able to do. First question is, what is your self-talk about referrals? We saw a lot of that already starting to be able to show up, right? So these are questions I'm going to, and again, looking forward to your responses in the chat box, because as many of you can already see based on the responses we're getting from our people attending today, you're not alone. You're not alone in the way you think. And too often we think that we're the only one who's thinking that. So what is your self-talk about referrals? If I asked you as your sales leader, as a sales coach, okay, today is Wednesday, this week, I want you to go out there and ask for 3 referrals. What is your self-talk? Let's just in the chat box what people are saying about that. What is your self-talk? Like, yay, I'm on it. Of course you are. Great. Thank you, Luce. Yeah. Others might go, okay. Next question here. Do you ask for referrals? So we've already started to be able to look at that from the poll, right? Do you ask for referrals, right? And so we're getting some of you when it's right. So what we want to do is to take a look at what you can do to be able to make it more right. Okay. Next question. Have you earned the right to ask for referrals? So we saw from some people in the chat box, people will do it when they've earned the right, maybe when they've fixed a problem, that law of reciprocity, or when they've got a great loyal customer, when they need help. There's some that have also said, if this company, this buyer isn't able to buy from me, do you ask for a referral? So at that point in time, have you earned the right to ask for a referral, right? So again, people will look at things a little bit differently. Okay. Another interesting question, how can you provide a referral first? So, let me share with you, or let me introduce you to some companies that you may want to do business with. And so then therefore, in return, they may refer you to do the same. So another way to be able to do that. Okay. And then the last question, this is the juicy question. Do you get your customer involved in the referral process? So we heard from one of our participants today that looking on LinkedIn, if you see that somebody's connected, do you ask for that introduction? I've also have been asked, or I've asked others, oh, can you provide me that introduction? And so one of the things is I'm more than willing to provide, to do introductions or say, reference my name, but everybody is busy these days. And so one of the things is sometimes people will say, well, can you send an email introducing us? And sometimes people will think that's taking it too far. People are too busy. I'm more than willing to provide the name, reference my name, be able to do that. But I will admit sometimes I'm too busy. Now, if I feel very, very strongly and I maybe want to do the introduction, let me send a quick email. But it's interesting when I'm willing, when I volunteer to do that versus being voluntold, or will you do that? So again, it's about, do we get the customer more involved? Here we go. Way more effective if a customer makes the actual referral. Most people do want to help, especially if it felt your product or service will help them. So again, that is something that you can decide how far you want to be able to get your customer involved. And actually, if you want them to do the introduction, or if you just want to refer to that. So again, lots of different questions here that we want to be able to take a look at and helping you to do that. So we've got lots of really, really great interaction here, best practices. So Ripplin, what we're going to do is we're going to do a breakout room because we know that salespeople love to be able to chat into smaller groups. So we've got a great group here. Well, we've got over 65 people already. So let's do some breakout rooms. Let's put 3 to 4 people in a breakout room.
Perfect.
And the team captain. So when you're going to be a breakout room, and let's put people in, let's say 7 minutes. And we want you to share your best practices for when you're asking referral, and actually even use the words. What are the words you use? Best practices for asking for a referral. And we're going to put a team captain. So they make sure that their group gets organized. We know some of you might be multitasking. The team captain will be the person who's drank the most cups of coffee this morning. They are on full jolt with their caffeine. So Rupalin, let us know when you're ready to open up those breakout rooms.
Just going to go ahead and open them right now.
Great opportunity for you to network while you're in these breakout rooms, hear and learn from others. 7 minutes in the breakout room. Team captain is the person who's drank the most cups of coffee, and you're just going to openly share best practices and tips for asking for a referral.
Oh, sorry about that, Lisa. It's just not letting me make additional rooms.
Ah, so maybe we can only, there's a maximum number of rooms?
Seems like something's going on here.
So while Rupelin is putting that together, maybe
just gonna
you
start
can
over.
only do, yeah. So start thinking about what are your best practices or tips for asking for a referral. So when we get into the breakout rooms, you are ready to rumble and share your best practices and tips. If anybody wants to be able to share and elaborate a little bit about how they're using the incentives.
Got a great comment from Luce here that says, for myself, it's best to build it to your presentation. A lot of our business grows through referrals and ask after the work is completed. Who do you know?
You're right. Referrals needs to be part of the sales process.
When you receive positive comments from the client, then ask them if they'd be willing to write it down. Great
So
comments in the
there's
chat.
difference. So there's referrals versus testimonials, right? Endorsements. I think it was Jordan. Would you be willing to share? I think Jordan, it was you who was sharing a little bit about what you're using for incentives.
Yeah, so in my group, it was mainly a gift of some kind, like providing the client with something in return for the referral. So we had two individuals that were working in the hotel industry, and they provide points, like a reward. So I'm in lawn care. We also provide a $50 gift certificate for referrals as well. And we're all willing to ask for referrals both through email and in voice, like over a phone call or something like that. Those are the two main avenues through which to ask for referrals. And then the awarding doesn't, it's sort of like when we receive the referral, that's when the award is actually, given out. So those are the main pathways we found.
So again, one of the things I'm hearing is you can put it in the email signature, right? You may put it on an invoice, right? One of the things that I've seen is you can do all those things, but how many customers actually take you up on it? When you as a salesperson ask, right? Pros, be strategic, be proactive, and be brave to ask for that referral. I wonder if you might get a higher response rate. But it's also nice when you get those, right? And so here's what I'd love to be able to hear from everybody else is, if you knew you were going to get an incentive, are you more willing to do so? Yeah, people are like, However, it's interesting because we've got a number of people here from the hotel industry. They're using hotel points. So all of a sudden I went, oh, okay, yeah, I would actually do it for hotel points. And one, I think it's because it's a little bit differently. It's more of a corporate points as opposed to somebody literally writing you a check for $50. Right? So there may be some difference. But again, what I really hope this is doing, because it's certainly getting me thinking a little differently, is it's just getting us to think a little outside of our own box. And that being creative, using incentives, asking, simply adding it to your email signatures, invoices, any of those kinds of things will make a difference. I know when we do a speaking engagement or a training workshop, we'll put it on our feedback forms or our surveys. Rarely will somebody fill in that section. However, if I stand at the front of the room at the end of the day and say, I hope you've received an incredible experience, and if you know of anybody who would benefit from this, we'd love to hear from you. We appreciate referrals. When I actually say it out loud, all of a sudden, we get more referrals on that form. So again, here as salespeople, we need to use our voice, our communication, and be able to proactively go out there and ask for that. Okay. So what we're going to do is I want to be able to share with you the Rupelin. Can everybody see my screen here? Hold on here just a sec. back to share screen. Here we go. Okay. Everybody can see the screen again?
Yep.
So what we're going to do in the remaining part of today's session here is we're going to take simple 5-step referral roadmap that you can actually put into place. And we'll also have some time for Q&A also at the end. So if you have any questions, start putting them into the chat box to Ruplan Bear. We'll make sure that we've got time for asking a few questions in any of those challenging or situations that you're looking for. So step number 1, create a list of people who trust and like you to ask for their referrals, right? Because when they love you, right, it is so much easier to be able to do that. We don't feel as rejected as we heard earlier from Taylor. And we've got a simple template. So what I want you to do is start to be able to think about this, right? And we've got a template that'll be available for you to download at the end of today's session. First of all, think about who are your top 5 customers, top 5 customers that love you, right? Because you may have people who may not be your top 5, but they love working with you, right? So take a look at that because they're the ones who are going to be raving. Typically, sometimes their personality styles might be a bit more expressive, willing to be able to share that love. Next category, who are your friends, family, network, right? You may have a brother-in-law who works at a large organization. Great opportunity to be able to do that. Or maybe you're this past weekend at a St. Patrick's Day bash, right? You met somebody, oh, okay, that person works at ABC company. Looking at your LinkedIn, great opportunity to be able to do that. So again, who are the people that are well connected or working in those organizations that you go, I would love to have that logo as part of my client list. Third category, centers of influence. So I like to refer to these people as people that you're already doing business with. So maybe it's banks, your insurance broker, different suppliers. Who are people that you pay money to, right? Banks, investment advisors, they're well connected, right? So again, great opportunity. And if you are already paying money to them, why wouldn't it be? It should be much easier to be able to ask for a referral. So again, those are centers of influences, or just people who are well connected in the industry. Okay, and then the last category, LinkedIn, right? Being able to take a look at that. Who else in LinkedIn? I also heard somebody talk about associations, organizations, right? Who are some of those people that you're members of? Here we are. We're all members of CPSA. Great opportunity for looking at who we are. That's why we're asking you to add your company name in there, because you might go, oh, that person works at so-and-so. I would love to do business, or they're well connected. So again, opportunities to be able to do those kinds of things. Okay. So that is step number 1, create a list, right, of being able to do that. Because once you've got a list, just kind of like a targeted prospect list, or you want to have a targeted referral list of being able to do that. Step 2, once we have your referral list, we want to then take a look at developing your referral strategy. Because many of you actually talked about you do it sometimes or depending on the situation. What we want you to do, and I think it was Arash who shared this, it needs to be part of the sales process, right? So creating the habit of asking referrals on a regular basis, or as we heard from others, rewarding for referrals. So some of you may want to do it once you've actually delivered the solutions, the products to a client. Great opportunity to follow up. Hey, just following up. We delivered this service, or we provided these solutions to you. Hope you received the product. Hope you're really, really happy with it, right? Opportune time. It's a follow-up after the sale is complete. Then you can find out how happy or not, time to resolve. And if they're happy, there's an opportune time to be able to ask for those referrals. I also saw in the chat box, some of you said annual review meetings. So you're doing quarterly annual review meetings with your clients, right? Really being able to deepen. That's also an opportunity at the very end to say, you know what? We really like to develop partnerships like we are with you. And we're looking for more companies like you. So again, the opportunity to do that. We also heard people talking about reward for referrals. So again, you want to be able to figure out what is your referral strategy. most people don't have a referral strategy. So again, they're not always asking for referrals. Referrals are happening to them, so they're being more reactive to referrals. So we want you to be strategic, proactive, and brave to develop that referral strategy. Next, identifying your target clients. So again, you want to take a look at who are the right types of customers, right? And again, people love to be able to help. So when you ask for referrals, you just don't want to be referred to anybody. Share with your ideal company or persona with the person who's giving you the referral. So you may say, you know what, we really specialize in working in the building materials industry, right? Or in the tech industry, right? So you can be, and we're looking for more companies to be able to grow and expand our services, right? So there's ways that you can do that. Another example that you could do is even get a bit more specific with the persona. So for example, we work with VPs of sales like you, if you're referring to a VP of sales, or maybe it's a director of sales, right? Who are keen to elevate their team to a higher level of sales performance and consultative selling, right? And then we work with sales teams who have 10 plus more sales team members who want to grow their sales significantly in the next few years. Because what happens when you get really, really specific is people start to actually look at their database inside their head and going, okay, who matches that criteria? Right? So all of a sudden, oh yeah, who else do I know? VPs of sales, 10 plus more sales teams, you know, in the building material, you know, all of a sudden you're looking at different types of industries, right? Looking at that. So the more specific you get, right? And again, you're just helping to be able to provide clarity to be able to do that. Okay. Step number 4, pick up the phone or email and ask your client for a referral. This is the one where it takes to be that confidence to be able to do that. So again, the opportunity. And we then want to be able to take a look at what do we say. So before we take a look at what we want to say, I want to actually share with you something that we've recently realized has really changed. So for the first time ever, there are 5 generations in the workplace. So we still have traditionalists or maturists, people who are 70 plus years of age because they love to work. They have been in the industry or owned their business forever, right? Versus baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, and our newest generation to the workforce, Gen Z. Here's the reality. If I said pick up the phone, some of you may go, absolutely, that's what I need to do. Others may go, ooh, I don't like to use the phone. I prefer to use social media. So when you're looking at asking for referrals, you want to take into consideration the generation. Because here is each of these generations. Now, again, these are their preferred ways. Some of them may be a little bit different. Their preferred way to engage, right? What is the best way for them to communicate? So traditionalists prefer to engage face-to-face, right? And you could send a letter saying, we're looking for referrals. Baby boomers, pick up the phone, right? Gen X, it might be emails, text messages. Gen Y, text messages, social media. Gen Z, any kind of tech devices, handheld devices, right? So we start to be able to see they engage and communicate differently. So when you're looking at your referral strategy, you're going to want to actually adapt and go, okay, who is my customer or buyer that I'm asking for the referral? What is their preferred way to communicate? They're more likely to give you a referral if you're communicating in the way that they prefer. And then once you get that name, you may even be as bold to say, tell me a little bit more about their personality style, their buyer type, their generation. The other way is you can go on LinkedIn. You can gather all that information on LinkedIn. You can get a good idea of when they graduated, how many years of work experience do they have, and kind of figure out what their generation is. So then that will also help you what's the preferred way to do it. Because again, I like to pick up the phone and then follow up with an email, right? However, I'm in that Gen X category, right? Cusping on baby boomer. So again, that's my preferred way. Again, if I'm actually asking somebody who's in a different generation, then I need to rethink my referral strategy and my ask. Okay. Any questions on that? Because we get a lot of really, really good feedback, or some people don't even always realize the difference there. Okay, and again, we can use that in the Q&A. So again, what do you say when you ask for the referral? So again, one of the things is I used to fumble and bumble when I would ask for referrals, right? And here's one of the things that I've learned is just simply what you can do is to be able to, hey, I'm looking to be able to grow my business. You know, we've just joined forces with Prima Resources. We really want to be able to make a bigger impact this year in the sales profession industry to be able to help salespeople get better at what they do, right? So again, wondering if you can actually help me out. And then pause, right? Pause. Let them talk, right? So again, if all you're asking to do is to ask for their help, let it be interactive so that you can do that. Then when they provide, it's absolutely, we'd love to help, then that's the opportunity to be able to say, and these are the types of industries that we're really looking to be able to grow the industry. Or these are the types of sales professionals or the type of customers that we're looking for. So again, but make it interactive. If it's a long-winded email or a script, it's going to sound that way and they're going to turn you off. Okay. When you receive that name, right? Step number 5 is what we want to be able to do then is to actually call that referred company or contact or reach out to them, right? And again, here's what we want to do. Now, some of you called this name dropping. I like to actually say this is referencing the person's name. So here's what I learned. Good morning. It's Lisa from Today Results calling. The first thing that you want to be able to do is to reference that person's name, right? So Mark Smith of ABC suggested that I contact you, right? Don't go into what you're all about or what you do or the purpose of your reference that person's name very, very early in the call. I will admit I did it way too in the bottom of the email. I never probably read it at that point in time. So again, you want to reference it early. The other thing that you want to be able to do is when you're doing an email. So I've done this. Good morning, Chris. And I literally put it in the subject line. Rick McKay suggested I reach out to you. Okay. And again, you'll see it's very, very much in the first 10 words of that email because most people look at their emails on a mobile device. They only see the first 10 words. So Rick McKay suggested I reach out to you as I understand you were working together and may be interested in consultative selling for your team. So again, there's where you go. And then ask them, are you available for a 30-minute call and provide specific dates and times to create that call to action? And you'll do that email and you may want to follow it up with a text, LinkedIn, social media message, use the double whammy because that's what will make it happen. Okay. So those are the 5 simple steps to the referral roadmap. So create a list of people to ask for referrals. Develop your referral strategy. When are you going to ask? Identify your targeted types of clients. Pick up the phone, email, ask for a referral, adapt your communication method depending on who the generation is. And then you've actually got to call and reach out to that referred company, right? When you're doing your sales blitz, maybe you go, okay, I'm going to make 10 calls and one of them is going to be asking for a referral to be able to do that. So it ties that in here. Okay. So in looking at this in your chat box, how will you ask for a referral? Which of the 5 steps, if any, have you been missing? So let's just hear in the chat box. What are you going to be putting into action? What's the tip you're going to be taking away? And while we're waiting for people to do that, we've got some resources here. So here's some stats, 7 surprising stats about customer referral programs. We've got different tips, raving clients, and we've also got a download. So you can certainly be able to do that, take a picture of that. Or Ruplan, will this PowerPoint be available to any of the CPSA members?
Yeah, we'll have the recording sent out for sure.
Okay, excellent. Good. So you'll be able to actually do that. So we've got a few minutes remaining for any questions. So what questions do you have about asking for referrals? Be more confident to ask for referrals. Yeah, Mike's saying make it part of your daily routine. Yeah, Colin, be more adaptable in the different communication methods. Any questions? Arash.
Not so much a question, but maybe a little trick or advice for anyone that's still afraid of asking questions for referral. It's easier to ask a no question versus a yes question. And I'm referring to Chris's boss, don't split the difference methodology. We could ask the same, we could get the same result by either getting a yes or a no. So can you give me a referral? Is asking for the yes, which may make it very complicated. Would you be against providing me a referral, which would give you a no answer, which still gets you the referral? So learn to ask questions where the person you're asking the question to would have to say no to get you the thing that you want, and you have a much greater chance of getting it. Think about it in your own personal life's context. When my wife says, can you throw out the trash? I'm a little more hesitant of doing it than when she says, would you mind throwing out the trash? It's just part of our neurologies and the way that our brain processes. And we're a lot more comfortable with providing no's as answers than yeses, because yeses require a commitment. And most of us are afraid of providing 100% commitment, which is what a yes requires people to do.
Very interesting perspective. Thank you for sharing. To expand on that from yes, no questions is taking those questions and having them be more open-ended questions. So what you're doing is you're getting your customer or your buyer to getting them to do more talking, right? How do you like to ask for referrals, right? Or when do referrals work well in your business? Right? So those would be some open-ended questions that you could be able to do. Okay, excellent. And as we're wrapping things up here, we want to be able to share with you some upcoming CPSA events. So I'm going to start off with the bottom piece here, the most exciting news. CPSA is going to be hosting their first Epic Sales Conference in September in Toronto, because CPSA is going to be celebrating their 150th anniversary. Absolutely incredible. So mark the dates on your calendar. We'll certainly be there, and we're very, very excited to be a part of the Epic Sales Conference and the opportunity to be able to celebrate the sales profession. The next webinar coming up, Unleashing Efficiency with AI-Driven Practices. There is lots of really, really cool tips and insights to be able to use with AI. And the Fundamentals of Selling program is...
It's actually April 15th
yeah, there we go. I just realized
and we're doing that
too.
online as well, so more accessible for everybody on April 15th. But everything is accessible on our calendar if you'd like to have a look. We have a full roster and agenda filled with some great partners, just like Lisa at cpsa.com/calendar. You'll see everything listed there. We do have a good
thank you very much
Jordan.
for everybody. Yep. Thank you very much for everybody attending. Are we ready to wrap things up, or do we have any remaining questions, Ruplan?
We did have one from Jordan. Did you want to ask what are your thoughts on mentioning a referral program after closing a new sale over the phone?
I think it's a great opportunity to say, hey, by the way, we really appreciate we appreciate your business, and we want to actually expand our business. And as a result, we're actually launching this referral program, or we've launched a referral program because we want to be able to reward those people who are helping us to be able to grow their business. So absolutely, I think it's a great way and can be, again, a part of your solutions that you're being able to offer. So I highly recommend. Again, I think one of the things I want, it's the way you say it, the way you word it, and being able to do that so that it's very, very consultative, and you're here to be able to help. The definition of consultative selling is helping, right? And that's what we want to be able to do, is to be able to help.
Huge thanks, Lisa.
Thank you very much. And Ruplan, I think we need to ask for referrals. So if you thought today's webinar was a great session, if you have been a member of CPSA for a number of years, do you know of any other sales professionals, sales leaders who would benefit from sessions like this, or from the CPSA membership, we would certainly appreciate your referrals. So thanks everybody for a great session. Love the interaction, lots of great tips. I know I'm walking away with lots of great insights and tips. So thank you for making it a great session. And we look forward to hearing how you're able to apply those referrals, grow your business, and have a successful sales day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye now.
Have a great day.
See you the
Thank
next
you.
one. Bye, Mike.